Okay, so having done a very simple ng for loop, let's now look at some few other things. Things called pipes, where I can make the various fields inside the double squiggly brackets. I can do for little pipes to slightly transform them on the fly as they are presented. There are ways of in the iteration here when I'm just iterating over a simple collection like car of cars. There are ways of also finding the index, which number of the kind of iteration are we at. So for example, if we wanted to do kind of show odd or even rows with different shades to make it easier to read, we might be able to use that as well. And in order to do that, for changing the kind of the look of things depending on where we are in the iteration, I'm going to use a special directive called ng class, whereby you can set the class of an element conditionally based on some sort of criteria. So first of all, let's look about showing the index. Let's put a number beside each one of these each time we say a car make and a car model. Now, what you can do to do that is you do a semicolon and you say something like let I equal index. Okay, so index is the keyword here, which is the built-in thing of the ng4 directive, which gives you the number of the iteration you're going through. And what we're doing by saying let I equal it is I makes it a kind of a variable which is then available to the rest of the page. Okay, so let's now kind of in here, just after the p, let's kind of actually put I in here. So if we put a double squiggly bracket I, and then maybe I put a semicolon after that, and I do save. And if I now look at that, what I get is the number appearing beside. Clearly, that's using the typical zero-based looping indexation that is typical of most programming languages. But suppose you want that to be from 1. It's not too difficult to change. I just say, instead of saying I say I plus 1. Then if I save that, and as you can see now, it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's a nice feature. Now, the one can also do these. There are also other built-in variables which come inside the ng4 expression. This one is index, which gives you the number of the iteration. The next one is one's called even and odd. Okay, and so what you can do with those is kind of change the class based if it's even or odd. Let's just show you what it means in practice. So let's just say something like let o equal odd, let e equal even. Okay, and then I'm just going to maybe just print out here something like uh, right at the very end, no, after the bold, I'll just maybe put in O, and then I'll put in E to get those two variables out. So let's just kind of do that, and let's play it back to ourselves. And you see there, noticed one Saab TurboX, which goes, and then let's look at the code here. O, okay, so in this case, odd is although it says 1, so it's kind of confusing because it's really 0. We've added an extra 1. So it's 0, so, which makes odd false and even true. And this number 2, which is really 1, is kind of therefore odd is true and even is false. And therefore in the third case, which is in fact item 2, if we do 0-based indexation, then that's even odd is false and even is true. Okay, so that's kind of thing. But what you can now, having seen that, that wouldn't be much use there. What we can do is we can use those odd and those e's in, for example, ng class. Now what I can do is I can set a kind of class based on this O and this E. So let's create this now. This directive. So this is the way it works. Okay, so it says here open square brackets ng class, and then it's equals, and now here we have an expression whereby you say the name of the class should something be true. So we're going to say we're going to use the class open bracket odd if it is genuinely odd. So open bracket is going to be odd colon, and we know that the variable we've created is O for odd. Okay, and then comma, and then we'll create a class of our own called even. Should even be true, which is kind of the one we've at the moment we're calling E. So even colon E. So the colon means should whatever's after me be true. Okay, so in this expression here, we're saying the class odd we're going to use the class odd if it's odd, and even if it's even. Sorry, the one thing I forgot to put in there are the squiggly brackets. Sorry, I made that completely messed up badly towards that part. So anyway, so basically the ng class squiggly brackets, should O be true, the class is going to be odd. Should E be true, the class is going to be even. Okay, that's it. So now, having done that, now we have to kind of define those classes. So let's go into our, I'll save that for now. Let's go into appcomponent.css. Okay, and I'm going to, let's make my odd class background color silver. Okay, and I'll make my .even class background color colon even gold. Okay, and let's just save that. So we've saved everything. Now let's see how that actually turns out. And as you see now, the even classes, although sorry, the number is one above what the true value is. So the even class is going to be gold, and the odd class is going to be silver. And then I can type in more here, and that will be gold, that'll be silver, this one will be gold, etc., etc. Okay, and if I keep adding them, as you see, they continuously alternate. Okay, and if I go back to the code, if you look in the HTML, that is how it is done. Okay, that it's essentially saying if O is true, and O being this value of odd, okay, then we're going to show the class odd. Should even be true, so should the expression E be true, then we're going to show the class even. Okay, there's also even beyond that. There is also a first and last. So we could go even further on this. So let's go to it's add some more conditions. Let f equal first. Let L equal last. Okay, and I'll just put that onto a new line to make it easier to read. So saying that we're going to add the class odd should O be true, and the class even should E be true. So now we can do some more actually. Let's do something different. Let's maybe put the first line of this whole thing in italics maybe. So let's define some classes first and last. So if I go here, I'll click dot first, and that's going to be font style colon italic. Okay, and we'll maybe make dot last. I think font. You see font weight if I want to do bold. I can't remember. Let's have a look. No, is it font size? Font. I can't. Font family. Font style. Oh, I can't think what I'm getting. Font. Oh, I can't remember. I'll just stay with font. I'll just stay with font. I'll do font family Helvetica. Maybe why not? Let's do that. Or impact. Okay. Well, why not? I mean, it's just to demonstrate here. So there's first and there's last. So now let's go to here ng class. So we f. So here again we go to the next one. We're going to go comma in single quotes, first should F be true, and last should L be true. Okay, so now if we do, we save that. Let's now look at the code. So yeah, so now if just you see that the last item always has the impact font, and the first one is always given italicized. So that is kind of thing. And the final thing I want to show you is pipes, which is to say you can actually, there are some built-in pipes whereby you can subtly change some item that is being kind of bound from a variable to, you know, just for a particular look. So for example, if we go to here, a pipe is basically, as we expect, a kind of pipe symbol, and then there are some built-in pipes which are built into Angular. So if we go, so let's say, let's make the car make is going to be always uppercase, and the car model, let's say it is going to be title case, maybe. Let's try that. What that does is basically pipe. So basically, essentially, it's a built-in pipe which will convert whatever is here into the uppercase format. And there are many other built-in pipes, things for example, currency, etc., or the formats of dates and everything, such that you can take whatever data it is you're presenting and then just kind of like format it in such a way as to be the ideal format that you want. So having done that, if I file save here and finally let's go back to it, you'll notice Saab is uppercase, Volvo is uppercase, so BMW is uppercase, and the other ones are just basically the first letter in each one is so if I type in ABC, and if I say the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, and if I click add to array, you'll notice ABC all uppercase, and all of the text in the that I've typed is been kind of put in such that the first letter has been capitalized. So there you can see that the as well as with the ngFor, you've got a lot of other things which can kind of intercept the data coming from the model and kind of slightly change how it appears on the page. So there you can see some of the power of it, and as you see, it's also very compact. What we did there isn't so complex, and it's a very nice way of doing those kinds of very quick visual presentational things that can make our information more compelling.